and welcome back. It's lovely to see you. I'm Claire Cousins from Textiles East Fair. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. It's to do with Textiles East Fair that we hold in Cambridgeshire. We're holding two this year. Well, I say two this year, next year. We plan ahead, so I get carried away. So yeah, 2025, we've got one in February, which is at St Ives Burgess Hall in Cambridgeshire, and the second one is in Newmarket, which is just on the Suffolk border, and that will be in October, and they're both 2025. So if you're interested in coming to a textile event, then do check out the details where I have got the website link is there. So this video, I started the Christmas Advent calendar a little while back, and I'll try and put the link here somewhere. So fingers crossed it pops up. Anyway, please enjoy, and it's nearly Christmas, so what better time to upload this video for you to watch. If you haven't already subscribed, why not do so? It's free. And anyway, I look forward to catching up with you again soon. Enjoy. Yeah, I started this advent calendar a little while back, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit for you so you can see I've been doing very simple sort of little focus for me, and some very simple satin stitching and some running stitching, and so just to get the textures in. Done some simple sort of lazy daisies to form these. I've done like a blanket stitch style leaf there. Yeah, I've just noticed I've missed a bit. So one there. So I've got two little bits there to do. I've just got this well, apart from those little bits there, this last corner to do, and then I'll show you my next stage. So I'm going to do the stem stitch along here. Now it's a metallic thread, which really is intended for sewing machines, but I have found it does sew quite nicely with hand. You just have to be aware that it does catch on the odd occasion, so you might need to have a shorter piece and just be delicate with it. So I'll do that one, finish that one off, and then I'll show you how I tackle where the pockets are. I'm going to show you how I do these pockets here. So what I do is basically make sure it's lifted up, and I make sure my hand is always underneath. So I make sure my knot is in there somewhere, if I can get it to come up. And I just do the stitches before. Now if I don't want, because the knot's going to show, isn't it, here? If I don't want that to show, you might want to cut that off and do it again, or trim it up so it's not quite got such a tail on it. Oh, that's worth telling you about. These are like children's scissors. They're Beryl. They're called Beryl Berties. You can take these, as I've discovered, on an aircraft because they are within the size and they are rounded. So not ideal for very close work, obviously, but perfect if you're on a flight and you're just doing some embroidery. Because I took them through Gatwick, and they pulled them out and checked them. And what I will say, it makes it quicker if you put your whole sewing kit and your scissors all in a clear plastic bag, because they can then see the scissors, they can see all your sewing kit, and they know at a glance, without holding everybody up, that your kit's safe. So that's a tip I can definitely give you. I say that for Gatwick. I don't know about other international airports. Malta, they were fine with it. And you can see I've got my finger underneath, and I'm still continuing to do my stem stitch. As I say, just be aware with metallic threads, they do have a habit of just catching and snagging a bit, so you have to be quite patient with them. The reason being is there'll be a cotton core thread, and the metallic itself is wound around it. So if you look closely at one of these, you could just see the wire, or this particular brand anyway, you could see the wire wrapped around the core. And I'm going to just do, coming back, go to the next one, and I'm going to come back. You might want to put a thimble on the finger underneath, by the way. So I'm just going to finish off this one, put another one in there, and then I'm going to do a bit more work on here. I'm not stitching everything, I'm just stitching some of the details that I want to bring out. So for instance, on this cone I've done the lighter stitching here, and I'm just doing some of this darker stitching here because I quite like to emphasize, almost make it look like it's popping out. So some very simple satin stitch with 2-stranded embroidery thread. And I'll just continue to do that. Once that's ready, I shall move on to the next stage, which will be actually turning it into the wall hanging, or it's the advent calendar. So yeah, I should be sorting that out next step. So far then, just to get you up to speed as to where I'm up to with this advent calendar, I've cut out the backing, and I'm going to sandwich it with a layer of, it's almost like a heavy calico, almost canvas-like material. I was going to do it in batting, and then I thought, or wadding, and I thought no, I didn't want it to be too sort of spongy. I wanted it to be more sort of stable, so I thought I'd use this. I'll just give that a press, and then I'm going to bag it. But before I bag it, I need to, I'm going to make some loops to hang it with. So I'm going to have three loops, I think. One, oh no, should I have 4? 1, 2, no, I actually have 4 loops, I think. And the way I might go about making them, I don't know if that will, yeah. Now I know I've got a rotary cutter and ruler, but sometimes with gingham it's better just to cut it along the actual line itself. So yeah, so now I've got 2 bits. I'll sew that down there, make 2 tubes, cut it in half, and then I've got 2 loops. So I'm going to crack on with that. Right, so I've ironed it now. So I've put the canvasy material at the bottom, and then putting this backing fabric next. Now it sounds really weird because it seems like I'm going to sandwich the backing, but which I am, because it's right sides together. And then when I sew around from the top and then down across the bottom and up again, hence the term bagging, because you turn it into a bag. You leave the top open because I want the tags to go in later. So I'm going to sew that there as well. Now, even though I trimmed up and squared up everything, I have noticed this panel, the other two fabrics are absolutely fine with each other, but I've noticed this panel has been printed slightly on the wonk, and I had noticed it when I was embroidering. So please be aware that some of these printed panels are definitely on the wonk. Right, so I think that's the best I'm going to do. I'm going to pin round that and then take it to my sewing machine. Right, I'm not sure how long this bobbin will last me. I can see it's not much there, but it might be enough just to do my little tabs, hanging loops, what you want to call them. I'm just matching up the sides and taking a seam down that edge. I've already sewn down one side. I'm going to sew down this other side, and that just gives it a crisper finish. Just ironing it doesn't always give it a nice finish. And I'm going to repeat that with the other long strip, and then, as I say, once I've cut it in half, that will form the loops. Right, I've sewn all the way around apart from the top. As I say, with there's the fabric, the front, then there's the backing, and then there's the calico, the thicker calico here. I've just cut the corners as well, I'll make sure I cut this one, and then I'm going to pull it through the right way. So I've trimmed up the corners, and I am going to I like to get a bit of a stick, but you've got to be careful because you can poke your corners out. So I'm just very carefully with a skewer poking my corners. I'm going to give that a press along there. And then I'm going to sew around that again, so I'm going to work out my tabs. So I folded it in half because it's only going to take a piece of towel, and then I'm going to position that in the corner there on the front, and there it looks very strange. Oops, that's where I want it to sew. I'll then flip it in and then top stitch it as well. So if I stitch it flat like that first, then it's insecure. So I'm going to do that, position them all on. And the best way to do that is usually to measure. I'll have to get the tape measure out and I'll measure it out. So as you can see, I've sewed them on all the way along, just on the front edge, and then as they turn in and I top stitch, I'll keep them firmly in place. So I'm going to go off to my ironing board, give this a good press, and then I'll be back. I'm now sewing the top closed, the tabs sticking up. And now I'm just top stitching all the way around the edge, and that will just give it a nice sharp finish. There you go. Nearly done. Right, hopefully now you can see it's all finished. It's just waiting for its dowel and ready for Christmas to be hung up. It's not Christmas yet here, so I have all its little pockets. I'll put some little beaver decorations to go on the tree, or a little surprise in them, we'll see. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's given you some ideas on how you can make your advent calendar. Thank you for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye for now.